Alright, question number 2. A 300 ohm resistor is connected in series with a 5 this one should be 5 microfarad capacitor. So the voltage across the resistor is given by this expression here. So note that this general equation, instead of being sine, it is actually now cosine. Okay, so before I continue, basically the difference between cos and sine graph is that the function sine is only symmetric about the origin. So it starts at the origin. Okay, so this is for a sine graph. But for a cosine graph, for cos graph, it actually symmetric about the y-axis. So it starts at the y-axis lah. Okay, so basically the sine graph is kind of sorry. So basically the cosine and sine graph, it tells us whether it starts at a maximum ataupun at a minimum gitulah. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is you can use it, you can, if the question is in cosine, so you have to write it in cos as well lah. But for the equation, for this equation here, you better use the sine general equation lah yang kita guna dalam our lecture notes. Okay, now so let's write down the equation of the current in the circuit. So we know that the resistance is 300 ohm, and then the expression is 1.2 cosine 2500 t. Okay, so the current is VR over R. Okay, so you'll get you're gonna do it this way lah. Divide by the resistance, which is equal to 300 ohm. 300. So this would give you the expression for the current lah. So you'll get 4 times 10 negative 3 cos 2500 t. Okay, then question B, you have to determine the, oops, I forgot, I is in ampere and T is in seconds. Okay, don't forget to write that. And then question B, you have to determine the capacitive reactance. And remember that is 1 over 2 pi Fc, or you can also write it as omega C. Okay, so where do we get the omega is, we know that the equation is, okay, cos omega t. So this is the general equation, and we have that 1.2 cos 2500 t. So basically the omega is 2500 radian per second. Okay, so substitute the value into the equation, then you get the capacitive reactance to be equal to 80 ohm. Okay, boleh ya? Then last question, we have to write down the equation of the voltage across the capacitor. Okay, so that is just V note for capacitor sine omega t. So this is I note, and then capacitive reactance. Okay, so calculate that and you should get 0.32 sine 2500 t as the expression lah.